Hello everyone and welcome back to College Football 25. We are finally back here with the Week 3 game against the Utah Utes. It is the rivalry of brothers. The stadium is going to be completely full with all the sister wives in attendance. The winner gets to read the sacred golden plates through the hat with the seer stone. So this is a big game. A lot's on the line. We are coming off of a massive victory over the USC Trojans, the ranked USC Trojans, which I have no idea still how that happened. They really just kind of fumbled the bag in the second half. And literally, their quarterback did fumble in that game. So we were able to capitalize off of their mistakes and get a pretty massive win over a ranked opponent here. Really kind of set the tone, and already it seems like the stadium's a little bit more packed. I don't think we had an empty stadium like some of the teams in this game do, but already things are looking pretty good for us Aggies here. But this is our big rivalry. Normally, rivalry week is at the end of the season, but this rivalry takes place in the beginning of the season, obviously, because we are out of conference rivals. So we are going to pick things off here on offense, and on a 3rd and 8, the pressure gets to Spencer Petras, and he cannot get rid of, or he does get rid of the football, but can't get it to his receiver. But on the punt here, Utah commits the grievous sin of running directly into our punter. Fortunately, this is not real life because that punter would probably be out with a career-ending injury off of a hit like that. But we will take a fresh set of downs regardless, as Utah commits a pretty massive mistake here that gets us into their territory here. So on 2nd and 7, Petras dropping back, loads it across to Brock Lane across the middle, the tight end, who cuts up field and gets a massive gain for a nice fresh set of downs, and we're getting just outside of the red zone. The fans are into it. The automated fans are into it. We love it. So on another 2nd and 7, Petras dropping back, and again across the middle, we're going to get Jalen Royals, our star receiver this time, and he's going to cut up and can't quite get into the end zone. It gets us right at the 5-yard line. So on the fake jet touch pass, we're going to give it to Rasul Faison, who probably could have just cut right up in the end zone. I was hoping he would get in there. He just needed to lunge forward and get in, and they're going to say that he was in. I don't know. It's a close call. You could probably booth review that, but it doesn't matter because they're going to give us the touchdown, and we are happily going to take it. So we are able to capitalize on offense early against the Utes, and we are going to need to have another game, much like last week against the Trojans, with very minimal mistakes, because those mistakes are going to mount up, and we are not going to be able to beat an opponent like Utah if we make a lot of those mistakes. This is the number 7th ranked team, but our stadium is bumping, and Utah can't hear on a 2nd and 12, and Cam Rising is going to draw back, and he finds an open receiver who just kind of shoots up the gap, and we had defenders around him, but he just had the speed to get into open territory. So, but on a 3rd and 9, again, Utah is going to convert to the same receiver. Cam Rising is just absolutely dotting things up here on offense, but on another 3rd and 9, pressure is getting in, but it is a screen that we were not prepared for, but we do catch up to and are able to stop it from getting into a fresh set of downs. So Utah is going to have to settle for 3 points here late in the first. We try to get in for the field goal block, but we don't need to because they're going to doink it. So Utah on an impressive drive that just would not die. They had 2 third-down conversions, or they had 1 third-down conversion. They almost converted the second one here. Completely falls short thanks to a doink off of the upright. So that is going to do it for Utah's drive, and they're going to come up empty-handed. So it's a good effort by our defense to limit it to 0 points. So we'll give them the credit for that. But we are facing a 3rd and 10 now with the football. Petras is dropping way back, wants this one across the middle of the field, and he finds an open receiver, and he shakes off the one defender, and he is off to the races. No one is going to catch him, and it is a touchdown for the Aggies. And I am also going to get an achievement off of that one. I will take that achievement. I really probably should have turned those off. I didn't even think about that until I was editing. I was like, oh man, I got achievement notifications on in this. Oh well, but you guys can see all of my achievements in real time as I accomplish them in this game on and off the field. So a massive, humongous touchdown for Colby Bowman. I think also had the kick return in the USC game. Comes up massive in this one here. I mean, dude, an amazing defensive play by that safety, I think, from Utah. Man, he just completely laid himself out for that attempt, trying to block that pass. Just fell a little bit short, but that is going to do it for the first quarter of play. We are already holding on to a 14-0 lead over the Utes. Man, that is unbelievable. Is this the team to beat? Are we the team to beat? You know, these rivalry games always get a little bit finicky, man. They always get a little bit weird. Remember Colorado State last year? I mean, that was a prime example. And Utah is already getting shifty here as the running back shifts into open space, and there's no one even around him. Just about untouched, man. That was Brilliant running, man. He saw the field beautifully, man. What is that dude's vision? It's got to be 99. That was just, I mean, the defense just kind of parted ways for him. You might as well hit a Heisman, because that was a Heisman-type play from Utah's running back, man. He just completely shifted out into open space, and there was, I want to see this one again, man. Micah Bernard, throw some hundreds up. I don't know. Throw something in the chat to commemorate this amazing run, man. Just beautiful. Just nothing but pure speed. We don't even have that kind of speed on defense to keep up with a guy like that. So we need to limit that as much as possible, if at all possible. So on our next drive, the coverage gets kind of messed up there. There's like 4 Utes in the vicinity, and they're all kind of confused where to go. But Brock Lane, the tight end, is the one who comes down with it for a humongous first down for the Aggies. So inside the red zone, we're going to get it off to Briggs Jr., our backup running back, and he's got some speed and some open space, and he gets into the end zone for our 3rd touchdown of the day to extend the lead to potentially 14, pending the extra point over the Utes yet again here late in this first half. Less than 2 minutes to go here, right out of the 2-minute warning. We hand it off to Briggs Jr., who gets into the end zone. So Utah has still not found a way to silence our offensive effort here. They seem to be maybe picking things up on their own side of the ball on offense here, but they cannot seem to stop this Aggies offense. It is just rolling all over. But with the time still left to go in the first half, Cam Rising and the boys are going to try and get into the end zone yet again. And when you make plays like that, you can absolutely do it, man. And our star-free safety, Ike Larson, just completely whiffs on that tackle. And Utah is able to get into the end zone before the half is coming to an end. So now they're staring at just a 7-point deficit now. I mean, this is another great play by the Utah Utes offense, man. Just maybe we had 2 guys that through could have made a tackle. Just look at that. Ole. Just an Ole block, man. Not going to shake off a big dude like that, man. Utah's got some size on their side. So with 39 seconds, we're still going to try and cook something up on offense. There's still plenty of time to try and do something. And we're going to go for another deep ball here, and we find an open target. Just about gets mangled, man. That was a dangerous pass to throw to a receiver, but fortunately he holds on to the football. And we have a 1st and 10 now, just past midfield. So Spencer Petras now stands firm in the pocket here. He's got plenty of time to throw, waits for that play to develop. And again, he's going to hit Davis now on the left side of the field. He went from one side to the next, and they just had the connection going on right now at the end of the half. So with time ticking away, we're going to go for another wide open man, and it is Davis again. And we have the timeouts now, so we're going to call one and potentially maybe take some points here or try and get this one in the end zone. We might have a shot at 1 or 2 more plays to get in here. Just wide open, man. Just looking for the open spaces on the field. You'd love to see that vision from Spencer Petras. So now on potentially our last shot here to get into the end zone, and Petras is going to try and run this one out here. He gets shoved by their star D lineman and gets pushed kind of into the end zone. He was dead to rights. There was about 3 Utes in the backfield who could have gotten to Petras, but he just evades the one tackle and kind of uses the momentum from the tackle to get into the end zone. So Spencer Petras, man, he's not a big scrambler, but he's got himself a rushing touchdown on the season now in just week 3, man. Who knows where those numbers could lie by the end of the year. But you see, he just kind of gets shoved by that tackle, and then the other 2 defenders just kind of couldn't. They were just kind of thrown off by that by that shedded tackle. I don't know. They just couldn't catch up to the play. So, but that's going to extend our lead back to 14 over the Utes at halftime. Here is the breakdown. We are absolutely dotting things up over Utah as far as the passing game is considered, but they are dwarfing our rushing production, which is weird because that's kind of one of the few things that's been working for us so far in the season. We haven't seen too much from Faison and the 1 rushing touchdown, or rather we have 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 from each running back. So we still have produced on the ground so much here. I guess you could say that our 14-point lead is kind of contributed to that, but late in the first half, a lot of that production, man, is just through the air with Spencer Petras and this receiving core that we've kind of come to get pretty familiar with off of some big plays like that from Bowman. And Davis was really the huge anchor in that last drive to get us into the end zone. So we haven't seen too much from Jalen Royals or from Hetra, who was really a big important player in the first couple games of the season. So, and Utah is already cooking something up here on a 3rd and 18. Our defense completely folds, and we give up the first down to Utah. So Cam Rising again, clean pocket, man, and he dots one up to another open receiver, just finds it in that window, and now we're here with goal to go, and it is 2nd and goal for the Utes. Just under 2 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. They're going to send a man in motion, but Cam Rising is going to find his open tight end yet again, man, and that is his 2nd touchdown on the day. just a good connection that Cam Rising's got going on in this ball game. So Utah is going to cut the lead back down to 7. And we can't call them out, man. There's still plenty of football left to be played, and we really haven't silenced Utah's offense. They've been kind of going back and forth with us ever since they scored the first time. So, and we weren't able to do anything on offense really for most of the second half here. So Utah with another chance with 2.5 minutes left to go, and they're going to hand it off right back to the tight end again, man. And he's going to get another first down for Utah. So as we get closer to the 2-minute warning, the stadium is still bumping here, but we really need something from the defense as Cam Rising and the boys are still dialing things up on offense, and somehow he gets in. Ike Larson again was there to make the tackle. It just kind of drags the receiver into the end zone, man. I think initial contact happened at the 5-yard line, and somehow he ends up in the end zone. I don't even know how you excuse that, on defense. That is just ridiculous. So Utah is going to tie the game up here with 2 minutes left. Money Parks, an amazing name, by the way, just absolutely incredible. And we finally had pressure get to Cam Rising, but it was just too late. And look at that, man. Ike Larson was there for the initial contact, and he just gets shedded off. I think he might be too small to make these tackles, man. I really don't know. Money Parks wasn't a big receiver anyway, but still. So on our chance here to try and get into the end zone to take a lead here, maybe even walk this one off if we can kill enough time, we pick up the first down with Brock Lane, and then on the next play, we're going to give it to Faison, who gets the first down, and some weird glitchiness is going to happen. He gets absolutely teleported, elevated, levitates, something. He gets floated around. But we were facing a third down now. We were trying to run out as much clock as possible. We give it to Briggs Jr., who looks like he gets past the marker, but they're going to mark him short. So we're going to take our 3 points. It is a perfect kick, finally, for the first time in this game. I finally have a good kick, but we are able to take a 3-point lead over the Utes. Now, we don't kill all the time in this ball game. There is still plenty of time for Utah to do something with the football, but we do manage to kill quite a bit, so the margin of error for Utah is going to be razor thin, very, very small. They're going to have to be pretty automatic on offense here with 1:06 left to cook, but they just need to get into field goal range to at least tie the game and send it to overtime. And on one play, Money Parks is already making our defense look stupid as he is off to the races. No one's going to catch him, and it's a touchdown for the Utes, and Utah is going to take their first lead of the day. And you know what? You might as well crown him. Crown Mr. Money Parks, because he has had an amazing game for the Utes, and that is the kind of play that we have just absolutely I don't know, man. Our defense has just really looked bad against some of these receivers. Cam Rising has just put together some pretty incredible throws and some open lanes here, and just look, man, we just don't have the speed to even keep up with Utah. I mean, just look at that, man. Just in pursuit, doesn't matter, man. They got all the speed that they need. And yeah, that's the kind of plays you're going to give up when you don't have that kind of speed in your secondary. So with a minute still left to go, there's plenty of time for us now to answer back and potentially walk off the Utes. And we're going to find Davis here, and thanks to an injury that's going to stop the time for us at least. So we're going to be able to dial something else up. So on a 2nd and 10 now, we're going to go across the middle. It's a dangerous throw to Jalen Royals, but he does haul it in. Doesn't get the first down, but he does haul it in. So a timeout is going to be blown here as we try and think this one over. So on 3rd and 2, we're going to go across the middle. And that one is nearly picked off. Try to get to Jalen Royals. So on 4th and 2, our last chance on offense, we're going to go for a deep ball, and Utah is all over it. So we were not able, maybe if I lobbed that one, I kind of lasered it there. I probably should have just lobbed it, and that would have been successful, but that is going to do it for the rivalry of brothers, man. Utah is going to take the battle of the brothers, excuse me. And Utah extends their series win to 81. Jeez. And yeah, Cam Rising might as well be the player of the game because that was just an absolute masterclass from him. He had an amazing game, man. Really just throughout the entire game. I know the structuring of this game is kind of weird because we kind of felt like we were ahead the entire time, but Utah really never slowed down on offense. They always had a pretty efficient and potent passing game, and that's what won them this game. So got to give credit to Utah. They definitely play like a number 17 who just knows how to finish games and come out on top. So, but we fought pretty hard, all things considered. I didn't think the game would be this close. I was kind of shocked when it was 28-14 and a half. I'm like, there's no way that we win, right? There's no way I beat them and USC, right? But we only managed to score 3 points in the second half, which is ultimately why we lost. We did absolutely nothing on offense in the second half. Utah was absolutely cooking on offense in the second half, and Yeah, that's how you lose games. That's definitely how you end up losing some games. So it's unfortunate, but Spencer Petras doesn't have a terrible game. Completion percentage is down here, but still 343 yards and a touchdown. I will take that. And then the rushing game here, less than 100 yards on the ground from both of our running backs combined. Not that great here, but Micah Davis has an absolute MVP caliber game. Doesn't get into the end zone oddly enough, but has 132 yards receiving, which is nice. So, and I think this production from our O-line is actually kind of down too. We normally have quite a bit more pancakes, at least I thought normally, but here is your defensive breakdown. We didn't really get to Cam Rising an awful lot. We did have a few sacks on the day, but I edited a lot of those out. So, but either way, that is going to do it for this one here. The Aggies come close to upsetting the Utes at home, just falling just short in a 35-31 nail-biter. I guess it was a nail-biter, but maybe if you were watching that game, like at TV, the complete game, it was like, nah, Utah kind of had that one. They were never really going to lose, which is kind of how I feel. But in the next video, we will cover, I think it's a bye week we have, but hope to see you guys in the next video before we get into our conference play.